Welcome, my friends. Welcome to another edition of More Bad News, brought to you, as always, by Camel Cigarettes. Take the Camels Challenge, smoke Camels for 30 days, and see for yourself what a difference Camels can make in your life. Well, my friends, it's been another week of very bad news, but not for billionaires. Business Insider reports that there are more billionaires than ever before. The richest people on earth are richer than ever before. The combined net worth of billionaires has increased by 5.3% to $7.7 trillion, larger than the GDP of France, the United Kingdom, Germany, or Japan. Business Insider counted 2,473 billionaires in 2015, and their numbers have been growing ever since. Now that makes sense. We are now at the point of a zero-sum game where there are more refugees and greater poverty and more people starving than ever before. It all makes sense if you understand that we are in the midst of a mass extinction event. There is no longer any benefit to compassion, although the billionaire's favorite hobby is philanthropy. Don't fret over the billionaires, however. No one's coming out of this alive. Last week, we learned that 7 members of the World Central Kitchen staff working in Gaza had been killed in precision drone strikes carried out by the Israeli military. Many people believe that the drone strikes were a purposeful attempt to prevent food from reaching the Gazans. Adding to our collective skepticism is the fact that Israel has done nothing to facilitate the delivery of food and medicine to Gaza, closing the land crossings and leaving the international community and charity organizations like WCK to figure out how to feed these people. Attacking food aid is going on in Sudan as well. Sudan, by the way, is the largest global humanitarian catastrophe, facing much larger than Gaza, and is getting absolutely no attention. And they're also bombing hospitals and attacking food delivery to the starving populations in South Sudan. No one should be defending the Netanyahu government, which is a government of messianic fundamentalists. I have supported socialist Zionism since the 1970s. I've demonstrated against the Israeli government in the 1960s. I called Golda Meir's government fascist. And I left the United States in 1967 and flew to Israel to volunteer during the June War. I have decades supported the peace movement and supported institutions like Givat Chaviva, which is an organization run by Palestinians and Israelis. And on one basic principle: no one is going anywhere. We have to learn how to live together. I love Israel, but I do not love the Messianic Zionists who are intent on ethnic cleansing in preparation for the building of the Third Temple. For me, the rise of the Jewish settler movement after the Six-Day War was a terrible tragedy. It was probably inevitable, as, I don't know, everything is inevitable now. I know that one of the most basic tenets of my faith has been the idea that redemption, that God had promised that in the end we would not destroy ourselves, that in the end somehow we would work things out. That was the promise. It took a very long time for me to abandon that faith. So this morning I was listening to Jon Stewart reporting on AI and some of its enthusiasts who claim that AI can save us from problems that humans can't solve. The AI will be able to solve climate change and save us from extinction. So the technology which has led us to imminent extinction will save us from our imminent extinction. And if AI can't save us, well, maybe Jesus will. Either way, we have a rosy future. Just see how well the billionaires are doing, and the stock market is also doing quite well. Now, also last week, there was a peer-reviewed study which showed that optimistic thinking is linked with lower cognitive ability. Of course, that makes sense. Anyone who's optimistic these days is either an idiot or delusional or both. What is even more concerning, if you want to be concerned about such things, is that it appears that cognitive abilities in the human species is collapsing like everything else. It seems that stupidity spreads like a virus. Along with the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a global pandemic of stupidity. People everywhere were confronted with a situation in which the best advice was go and hide until it's over. And then, of course, it was over. But stupidity continued to spread. Faced with a continuing onslaught of very bad news, most people chose stupidity. Its characteristic symptom a blank stare into total annihilation. Really, folks, this is an unprecedented challenge. We're talking about the end of our existence. In his famous Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, Arthur Dent discovers that the Earth, in the Hitchhiker's Guide, the entry for the Earth in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, to the galaxy, consists of an entry, one-word entry, harmless. His friend, Ford Prefect, contributed to the guide, assures him that he's been working on updating it over the last 15 years. He's researched and he sent in a whole essay, which was revised for space reasons, and the next edition will be mostly harmless. Of course, that was before the planet was destroyed to make way for hyperspace highway. Passover is coming. One final note, a sort of heads up. Passover requires a lot of time for cleaning and preparation. I've already begun studying the appropriate volumes of the Talmud. My copy was printed in 1859 in Vilna, Lithuania, which is part of the Russian Empire. How it got from Vilna to Big Rapids is a mystery to me, and I've always known that many other scholars had to have put their hands on these pages and studied these volumes. But in this particular volume, I found a New Year's card to Rabbi Raphael Shmuel Weiss. A quick search for his bio, and I have a picture of him, and then got into contact with his granddaughter. So now when I study the volume, I can see the face of a man who studied the Gemara before me. The term aura was used by Walter Benjamin in his influential 1936 essay, The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction. Benjamin argued that even the most perfect reproduction of a work of art is still lacking in one important element, its presence in time and space, its unique existence in the place where it is. He referred to this unique cultural context as its presence in time and space, as its aura. For me, this 1859 Gemara carried the aura of its existence in time and space. It carries the aura of all the people who have studied it. But I digress. The point I mention this is because it is possible that I might not be able to produce the show over the next couple of weeks. I just, it's getting difficult. So if that happens, I'll post a short note of apology, but I wanted to give you some heads up to prepare. So till next time, stay safe. Hopefully I'll be back next week with more bad news.